Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dana Lightsey. I introduce myself to most of you. Um, it, it's a joy to be with you today, and it is with great sadness that brings us together as well in the remembering Mary Magruder. Mary made it clear to her son that she did not want a memorial service. So this is not a memorial service. This is a remembrance, and it's a little less formal than what we might usually do, but we'll do all the usual things to celebrate Mary. So I didn't have a chance to know Mary. I wish I did. I've been here since November, but I can tell you that she's already has a special place in my heart because I know she was a teacher. I was a teacher for 17 years as well. So Yahoo for teachers. Thank you, all of you teachers. So we're here to celebrate the legacy of Mary Magruder, but with this celebration also comes heartbreak and grief from the loss of her, which she sounds like a kind and unique spirit that touched each person here today. She is loved and cherished by you and by so many, and the impact of her life is carried out in ripples across the fabric of life, far beyond what anyone can know, especially when you're a teacher. What I do know is that Mary was born on April 13th in 1944. Thank you, Lenny, for sending me this information. Mary went to Western State College in Gunnison and married Gordon Magruder soon after graduation. And Gordon passed away suddenly about 20 years ago from a heart attack. Yeah. They had a son, David, and a grandson, Ian. And Mary taught at Garfield Elementary School in Loveland. I think we have some folks from Garfield here. Awesome, wonderful. Thank you for being here. And she started in the late 70s, is that right? And she retired about 15 years ago and most recently was in memory care in Fort Collins. She was also a member of the ADK teaching sorority. Anybody here from the sorority? Wonderful. Good. Thank you. That's great. Where she greatly loved you guys, apparently. Mary also liked to travel and to walk around her neighborhood. And she was also led the children's programming here at Namaqua for a number of years. Is that right? Okay, you'll have to tell us more about that. That's great. And Mary died on May 16th in 2023. Yeah. There are some people in the world who live their lives with the purpose of bringing more love and light into the world, to shift the balance towards all that is good. And Mary sounds like one of these people. And there's nothing more special than doing that with children. So we're about to hear great stories about Mary's life as we remember her and celebrate her and grieve the loss of her. Remember that you are her legacy. If you loved her, feel the bonds of love that are still within you, enriching every breath you take. And if she was your friend, feel the memories surrounding you like a cozy blanket, always warming you with her wisdom, love, and kindness. You are all made different, enriched and enlivened and blessed because Mary was a part of your life. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. And may you be comforted by this love, for it is not leaving you. And may this love that you had with Mary continue to flow from you too as you bless this world. So today we light our chalice in memory of Mary Magruder, We remember the light that she has brought into this world with her life and touched your life in powerful ways. So it'd be nice to do a little bit of singing together. Oh, let me just a few details. Tam is recording this service for us, and we might have some people joining us on Zoom. Wonderful. We do have some people on Zoom. So they can't hear us if we don't use a microphone. So I know all of your teacher voices. You're plenty loud enough in this room without a microphone. I know how it is. I was a band director. Yeah. So, but it won't pick up on Zoom. So, we're going to invite people to speak today, whoever feels like sharing, and I'll just ask you to please use the microphone, and I'll have you come up here or bring it to you, whatever you're comfortable with. So let's sing a song together, shall we? I thought the song "Come Sing a Song with Me" would be a beautiful way to begin. And that is in your gray hymnal number 346. We don't have an accompanist today, so we'll just sing it a cappella. I thought this would be a really appropriate song because to me it sounds a little bit like a children's song, and yet it is about bringing hope and walking with friends and spending precious time together. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Nice singing. So, in just a moment, well, actually, we're being informal. So I'm going to invite a few people to speak, and then I'll share a poem. Maybe we'll sing another song and then invite more people to speak. How's that sound? Good. We have a plan. Is there anybody who would like to come up, or if you prefer to stay seated, I can bring the microphone to you. Would you like to, Rich? Bring it over. I understand.
Hi, I'm Reggie Cross, and Mary and I only taught together for 2 years, but our doors were near each other for all the other years. When I first met Mary as a teacher, she would come to me after school asking me to help her find her keys. Of course, I did the same thing. So, and she would start talking to me. Maybe you remember this, and she'd come all the way over. My desk used to be on the far side of the room at that time, and she would come over to me and start talking, but then she would head to the door and continue to walk to her room. So like a puppy dog, you know, and a new friend, I would follow her all the way over to her room. I did that for probably many months. I was trying to be kind. And then one day I stopped at my door and Mary was already in her room, and she came back and says, "What's the matter?" I said, "I'm tired of following you into your room." But anyway, so I just remembered that. I have 3 words to describe Mary: laughter, hot sauce, and friendship. And laughter was always, "Hi, Linda." Is that Linda? No? Are you Linda? Yep. I'm sorry, you look like Linda Freeland for a minute. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Anyway, Mary was just always laughing. You could hear her down the hallway. And it just, anytime you were with her, we were always laughing together. And all of us close friends knew that. And hot sauce, if you knew her, there was always several bottles in the refrigerator in the teacher's lounge. And Mary and I would tease each other because we sometimes would get food in the cafeteria, but we always would put hot sauce on it to liven it up, and especially the string beans. But anyway, but she had an incredible love of hot sauce. And I think Elaine knows this because when they backpacked around Europe, Mary actually bought a jar of hot sauce and kept it in her backpack. But I think the most important thing about Mary is the fact that she was just a dear friend. And I was sick years back, and she would just call me, come down and visit me, and just always just very, very caring. And so obviously when she went in the memory care unit, I tried to call her. Oh, I called her every week and talked to her, and I said, "Hi, it's Reggie." "Oh, Reggie Cross." And it always made me feel good because she still remembered my name. And then, of course, as time passed, that part, faded. She still remembered me, I think. But, our conversations dwindled to only, a few minutes. But I still tried to call her and didn't visit her as much as I should have probably. But we all miss her very much and hope we remember her, the wonderful things about her.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak right now? Great. Do you want to come up, or do you want to? Okay.
Well, I don't know if you Garfielders might remember me. I was a substitute from, this is really a long time ago. We moved here 25 years, and I taught from 99 to 2005. I had an appendectomy, and I was very ill afterwards. But I remember some of your faces, if you remember mine. I taught everything. I have 2 degrees. What did Mary, what grade level did she teach? First? Oh, okay. Well, I'm a 4th and 6th and German and history from Missouri, Minnesota, Texas, Colorado. And I met Mary on the Obama campaign. I was a Obama mama here in Loveland, and I don't know if any of you remember on 3rd Street by the City Hall where we had the center, and I even cleaned the house. And um, Mary, I was organizer for the telephone committee for the Get Out to Vote. And one of the last times we celebrated together was after the campaign, and my friend Janie, who also worked on the Obama campaign, and my friend Clara Chase, and Mary and I went downtown someplace to some fancy restaurant I can't even remember. And the last time I saw Mary was at Safeway, and she was walking, purchasing groceries at Safeway on Wilson and 34 Highway. But she was very helpful for the Obama campaign, and as you know, he was elected. So I just wanted to remember her with you, and nice to see all of you old teacher faces.
Anyone else?
I think we all had different relationships with Mary. I met Mary through Reggie many years ago, and she joined our hiking group, which was the three of them and me and Marion. And we saw different parts of Marion. Of Marion, yes, of Mary. And the one that I was most active was the political. I went to all the campaigns. We went to see Obama up in Fort Collins. We would go to all the political meetings all over the place, and she was very political. And just as Doug is staring at me because he always thought we were very strange. Fact is, I won't say any more, Doug. I'll leave it right there. Doug lived in our neighborhood, so we're the neighborhood people who know him very well. But anyway, I just think people should know all the aspects about her, and mine was mainly political. And Elaine, do you want to talk about your trip? Elaine and Mary took a trip to Europe together, which I think was really neat.
Hi, I'm Elaine Axon, and to show you how caring Mary was, I was going through a really tough time in my life. I had gotten divorced, and I spent 6 weeks with my mom while she was passing on from cancer. And when I got home, needless to say, I was a bit emotionally disturbed. And I was just talking on the phone to Mary, and I said, let's go take a walk. And because we walked together in the forest, in her neighborhood, all over the place. She loved to walk too. And so we were talking, and Mary said, I think I'm going to take a vacation. And I said, oh, take me with you. I said, where do you want to go? I said, I need a break too. And she said, well, I have some family in Germany. I said, okay. I'd never been to Europe. I travel a little bit, but not much. But when you're in desperate need, you take joyful measures to counteract that. So here's these two very ineptly technology people trying to sit at Mary's computer and find places to stay in Germany and Switzerland and Italy, because Mary chose a country, which was Italy. I chose Switzerland, and we went to Germany because she had family staying at Ramstein Air Force Base. So because we liked hiking, we started out, in southern Italy, and then we went to Cinque Terre, if you've ever heard of it. 5 amazingly lovely towns on the coast of Italy. And it's called Cinque Terre because there's 5 towns that you can hike to. Well, we didn't hike all 5 at once because we were older people by then. And so we go to 1 or 2 towns, and then we take the train back, and then the next day we take the train to the town that we stopped in and go a little farther. So I do have to relay this funny train story. So neither Mary or I were very familiar with how the trains in Europe worked. So we stood there on our platform in Sorrento, the first town we visited, and said, let's figure out how this works. So we're standing there watching people get on the train, watching them get off. Little tiny platform, you know, just a wooden platform with the train stops there, no buildings or anything. And so we said, okay, Mary, what do you think? We ready to get on? And and then this lady starts running to the train and she jumps on with this big carpet bag. And the door is closed with the carpet bag hanging out of the door. And of course, the conductor is way up front. So Mary and I just looked at each other and said, do we really want to get on this train? So they went about 100 feet or yards, and then finally somebody had alerted the conductor to stop. So that was our first introduction to the trains, but we made it all the way through 3 countries, and only once did we get in trouble when we got on a train that took us through Austria, and our Eurail pass wasn't supposed to go there. But we just paid a fine and kept going. But we stayed in family hostels, mind you, and all the young people thought, I mean, they were family, so, but we were like the oldest people traveling, and all these young people who were on their own were so surprised that these 2 old ladies were able to travel around Europe on their own. So Mary was a great adventurer, and just a very dear person all the way around. Yeah, so she'll be dearly missed.
That sounds amazing. Cool.
I'm Pam Mannon, and I knew Mary mainly through Alpha Delta Kappa. And I remember that she was always a little imp, you know, on projects. She'd go around and just grin, and she was funny, just really funny. And she really helped me when I first started, I don't know, 35, whatever years ago. And we did a lot of stuff together on committees. She always made committee meetings, which can be draggy, but she made them fun. And I remember her smile and her attitude and her true love for people.
All you people who know Mary know that our friend Mary, our friend Mary was an absolute nut. She was a nut. And so funny, but always going about 60 miles an hour for everything. And just leaving something behind and picking up something that caught her attention, then she'd be off, okay, what's this plant do? And how do I get rid of these bugs over here? Well, I put in a new controller for her sprinkler system because the old one had died. And I said, this is really simple, Mary. All you have to do is come out here. If you want to water, you just push this button until it starts flashing. And I think Mary must have been somewhat the way my wife is with the computer stuff. That's no news to anybody. You freely admit it. And well, for about a couple months after I put in this new controller, she would call me about once a week. Doug, I can't get the sprinklers to work. I can't get them to work. And I said, now you're not supposed to touch the dial or push any buttons, just do this. And she said, I can't do it. You got to come over. And I would look at the controller, and she had completely messed everything up. You know, turning the dial and then pushing a button and then putting time on. And well, why doesn't it work? I finally had to lock the controller. I had an outdoor controller that took a key, and I said, Mary, this is nothing against you, but if there's something wrong with the sprinklers, I got to be the one that does it. And she said, okay, well, that's fine. And then she'd be off on the other side asking me to build a bench or something like that. But what a kind and loyal friend. And a bright personality and a complete and total nut.
Thank you. Here's to the nuts in the world. I love it. Thank you very much. So I'm Sally, and I'm really pleased that Mary was a friend of mine. When I moved here in '05, I found this church right away, and this church is known to be very welcoming and warm and inviting, and indeed everybody was. And I came back, and pretty soon it was time for some potluck dinner that we were having, so I brought my potluck. And I moved here by myself. Not only am I single, I didn't know a soul in this area. I did have a brother in Denver, but I knew nobody. I came here for a job. My kids were grown. So I really needed a home. So I came to this first potluck with whatever I brought, and I sat down, and pretty soon Mary came over, running over to me, and it's like, you can't sit here by yourself. Come over here with us. And she had this whole group of people, and all of a sudden I had a whole group of friends. That happened because, well, because of everybody, but Mary was the one that really was the spark that put that together. Then a couple years later, I had some major surgery. People were bringing me food, people were helping me, people were wonderful. And Mary says, but I don't cook, so here's a gift card. So I got a gift card. And then the last time I saw Mary was about 6 months or more ago. I brought her one of her Dairy Delight milkshakes. Everybody knows Mary lived across the street from Dairy Delight, and she was its best customer for years and years and years. So I brought her a milkshake, and Mary said to me, oh, well, I don't know who you are, but I really like milkshakes, and I'm really glad you came to see me. And that was just so Mary, just so touching to the heart. So Mary was my friend. All these lovely tributes, of course.
Good morning. My name is Janie Gales, and I live here in Loveland. I've been here for a few years. I don't know, actually, I've been here since 1990, but I don't know Mary that well. I don't know her at all. But however, I know that we have crossed each other's path over there for the Obama campaign in 2008 because I was very much involved in that. And I met Barbara there and Claire. So we've been friends ever since. However, I know that Mary evidently was a very sweet person because I can feel the love in here, and that's a great thing, So just so that, everybody will know, I am from, Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church, and that's in Denver. And I've been with them ever since 2000, I think 2004, so it's, yeah. It's a beautiful thing to get to know new people, and so Barbara, the two of us she invited me to come with her this morning, and I'm very glad that I took the time to do so, and it's nice to meet everybody, and hopefully we'll see each other again.
Thanks for being here. So glad you're here. Good. Anyone else?
I'm Jennifer Burke, and I'm a teacher currently at Garfield. But I knew Mary as a young teacher in the building, and she would kind of take me under her wing. But I always remember how her nose kind of crinkled when she laughed. Her whole face kind of crinkled up around her nose, and I just always loved watching her laughter. She always had lots of stories about her grandson and what he was involved in. And I remember one time, I can't remember what the program was called, but we had a sleepover at the school for kids who read a certain Century Club. That's what I wanted to call it, Century Club. And I'll never forget us all sleeping in our sleeping bags with all those kids all over the floor in the hallways and stuff. And you could still hear her laughter ringing out, or she'd say, "Stay in your sleeping bag now." Go to bed. None of us got any sleep that night with all those kids, but I just remember the joy she had for teaching, the joy she had for her colleagues. She was just very kind-hearted, and she brought a lot of us young teachers along.
So we weren't able to actually let a lot of people know, and I don't think there was an obituary, but anytime you'd go out with Mary, students would come up to her and say, Mrs. Magruder. And so she did touch so many young people's lives in this area too. So she's well known for that.
Yeah, those are those ripples, right? You know, just don't know where that will carry. Yeah. I'm going to bring this to you. And Elaine, I think you brought a couple pictures up. Is it all right if we just pass those around? Is that okay? Okay.
We had January birthdays, and then we had June birthdays. So Linda Stengel, a very good friend of ours, we didn't get that one in there, but yeah. So this is a silly and a serious picture of Mary that Linda sent to us. So she couldn't be here today, but yeah, Reggie's in there. Reggie and Mary were very close, but yeah. So, and I couldn't find all my photo CDs from our trip to Europe, so I didn't get to bring some really beautiful photos of Mary.
Okay, great.
I'm Kim. Both of my sons had Mary for a first grade teacher, and she was amazing. And our whole family loved her so much. My parents had moved here a few years before. They were retired teachers, and they both helped in her class, and I helped in her class. And then I ended up working at Garfield. It was a grant for reading, and I'd been a teacher, but I was learning more and more about reading. And I went into her one day and I said, Mary, these kids can't do this, and I'm not sure how to do this. And she said, here, take this class. This was 24 years ago. And it was to work with dyslexic kids. And I am so grateful to her because that's the work I continued to do. And I told my oldest son yesterday, he was over, and I said, it was Mary Magruder who did this. He said, I had no idea, Mom. That is so cool. But both my kids have been so sad that she passed away because they had so much fun with her. But I do remember a funny story. I think it was after a PTO meeting. Gordon had just passed away, and I think Reggie was there, and she said, I don't want his obituary in the paper because then everyone will know how old I am. I will never forget that. I don't know if you remember that, Reggie. Oh my God. I know she would never tell anyone, but she's like, no, I don't want his obituary in there. And another thing I remember about her, we would run into each other at the store all the time, and people probably thought we were crazy because we'd both go, ah, and we'd hug, and we'd just practically be jumping up and down. And how are the kids? How's Zach? How's Brock? And it was just, she just had such a twinkle in her eye and mischief in her eye, and I loved her.
That's awesome.
I don't remember it, but do you remember it? Marilyn, did you know it? Oh, darn it. Okay. She would just walk around all the time saying that.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's so good we're all laughing because Mary did make us laugh. One time I called up Mary because I was supposed to bring a bottle of wine we used to have these things called circle suppers at people's homes. And I said, they asked me to bring wine, Mary. I said, I'd rather bring a salad or dessert or something. And she said, I'll go to the liquor store with you. So here goes Mary and I to the liquor store. I said, help me pick something out. Well, I started reading labels, and Mary started laughing. I mean, do you ever read wine bottle labels? They are so descriptive, and I love adjectives. So Mary and I, here we are. in the liquor store, we sat down cross-legged on the floor, reading wine bottles to each other and laughing. They must have thought we were already looped, but we hadn't. We were just enjoying the wine bottle labels, and that is our Mary for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay, I found alligator pie here. Okay, let's see if I can get this to play well. One moment. I know I should remember this song. I was an elementary music teacher. I should know this song. Sound familiar? Awesome. Oh, wonderful. She didn't sing it. Oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very good. And descriptive. Right. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to share? Okay. So I have a prayer that's a Hopi prayer that seems to fit with Mary. It says, "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on snow. I am the sun on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds, encircled light. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there. I did not die." Mhm. So we have a song that seems very appropriate. It's in our gray hymnal again, and it's number 311. And the song is "Let It Be a Dance." Now, this is much better with piano, but we'll have fun singing it together. Number 311, I think. Am I right? Oh, good. In fact, if you would like, we could kind of sing this as an echo, at least at first. Let it be a dance we do, your turn. Let it be a dance we do, my turn. May I have this dance with you? May I have this dance with you? Through the good times and the bad times too. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Okay, let's do that part together now. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Cha-cha-cha. Yeah. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and feel. No, I'm not getting this right. I'm sorry. I am missing a note here. Okay. Okay. So, let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel a rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Morning stars come out at night. Without the dark, there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance. Great, thank you. And as I extinguish our chalice with these words, I think this is called They Are With Us Still by Reverend Kathleen Mateague. In the struggles we choose for ourselves, in the ways we move forward in our lives and bring our world forward with us, it is right to remember the names of those who gave us strength in this choice of living. It is right to name the power of hard lives well lived. We share a history with those lives. We belong to the same motion. They too were strengthened by what had gone before. They too were drawn on by the vision of what might come to be before us. Those who lived before us, who struggled for justice and suffered injustice before us, have not melted into the dust and have not disappeared. They are with us still. They live, the lives they lived hold us steady. Their words remind us and call us back to ourselves. Their courage and love evoke our own. We, the living, carry them with us. We are their voices, their hands, their hearts. We take them with us and with them choose the deeper path of living. I just feel like singing the Irish blessing. May the road rise with you. May the wind be always at your back. May the the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, may love hold you in the hollow of love's hands. I invite you to join us for our reception.